Hey y'all, it's Courtney here, and today's video is about something that really annoys me, what I like to call scam teas. Now these teas have a lot of different names, they're called a lot of different things: skinny teas, fit teas, detox teas, fat burning teas. The kind of overriding theme is that they are teas that are sold to people for the sole purpose of losing weight or detoxing or whatever. And by far and away, they are scams. So starting with the first part of the scam is the idea of a detox. So when you look at any sort of detox product, it doesn't matter if it's a tea, if it's like a type of food, if it's something that you're buying as like a set. A lot of people, especially around the New Year's, like to sell these detox programs so that you could get on track and get started. One thing that I really want you guys to focus on is, what are these toxins? Because if you look at their claims, no one can tell you the name of any of these toxins. They just say toxins. And they say things like toxins in your bowels and toxins here and toxins there, but they can't tell you a single name of any sort of toxin. It's because they don't really exist. The other thing is they can't tell you where these toxins come from. Sometimes they'll say things like they're in your food or they're in the environment, but you and I don't eat the same food and you and I aren't in the same environment. So where are these toxins coming from? You know what I mean? The other thing is, as long as you have a functioning liver and kidneys, you don't need a detox program, because that's what your liver and kidneys do, is they detoxify your blood. Things like, blood urea nitrogen, creatinine, these are both increased if you don't have a functioning kidney or functioning kidneys. And if you look at like your liver, if you have liver disease, a lot of times ammonia will build up in your bloodstream. So without those organs, you're really losing a lot of your detoxifying, your natural detoxifying organs. And if you fall into that category, you shouldn't be getting skinny teas in the first place. You should be talking to your doctor. So by far and away, detox is a scam for those reasons, because you can't tell me what I'm detoxifying. You can't tell me where it's coming from. And not only that, but I already have organs that do a really great job at detoxifying my blood and my entire body without having to buy your crappy expensive product. This second point that I want to make is about the ingredients. Lately, these tea companies have gotten a lot better about being more transparent about their ingredients, but for a long time, you couldn't find a single ingredient in any of these tea products. Now, if you look at the ones that are listed now, most of the ingredients are either laxatives or diuretics. So laxatives like senna is something that I see in a lot of these teas, and they promote it as like a gentle, natural laxative. So their idea is that it just makes you poop a little bit more than you already did. And that's where some of your weight loss is coming from, is that you're just now more regular with your bowel movements. If you're someone who was constipated before, that's why you're gonna get that flatter stomach, is because you're pooping more. Now, if you're having troubles pooping and you're constipated, you feel like you're bloated a lot, you should just see your doctor and see if there's something you need to fix with your diet that isn't a $40 piece of crap tea. The other thing is, senna has side effects. Just like any other laxative, it's not something that you should be taking consistently, and certainly not for 2 weeks straight or 6 weeks or however long some of these skinny teas are. There are side effects to taking laxatives. Ask anyone who's ever been through a binging or a purging disorder. Laxatives are a really common way to purge. It's not just vomiting. And those laxatives can give you some pretty long-term side effects. Things like having trouble defecating or going to the bathroom, number 2, or pooping, whatever, normally. It really does upset a lot of your hindgut flora. It can lead to even worse constipation because you're messing everything up. Not only that, but when you have diarrhea, you run the risk of messing up your electrolytes. When your electrolytes are out of whack, you can have things like heart problems. Now, that's not to say that taking senna every so often, or if you have constipation and taking a laxative when you need it, is gonna cause heart problems. Absolutely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that these ingredients that they tote as being natural does not mean they are without side effects. The other thing is you have the fat burning products in it. Those are usually things like yerba mate, which is just a type of tea that it has caffeine in it. In Brazil, they drink a lot of yerba mate instead of things like coffee or energy drinks. Just because it's natural doesn't mean that it's any better than any other source of caffeine, but that's where the energy and the fat burning part comes from. And then the things like the diuretics, those are things that are going to make you pee more. So things like dandelion root is a really common one, but there are a lot of other ingredients that they put into these teas that just make you pee more, so you're going to have less water weight. So that's the reason you're losing weight and not necessarily fat, is because you're pooping more, you're peeing more, and you may have a little bit more energy because you're drinking another source of caffeine. The other thing is when they give you these teas, they give you a set of rules where these teas work best. Things like drinking water instead of soda, things like changing your diet around, things like getting more activity. Without the teas, these are all going to make impacts on your weight, whether positive or negative. If you're not drinking calorie-laden soda and instead having water, you're saving calories there that are going to make you lose weight. It has nothing to do with the tea. Additionally, if you're moving more, so you're going for walks for 10 minutes a day, you're increasing your calorie expenditure, so you're going to lose weight. A lot of the weight loss that people experience in this, if it doesn't have anything to do with pooping or peeing more, is because they've changed habits that are making them more fit. It has nothing to do with the tea. The tea is just a product that they bought that pushed them to do that. And the last point that I'm going to make about these skinny teas involves how they're regulated. So a lot of these products are not out of the US. They're out of like the UK, in Australia. And actually in Australia, in 2013, they shut down one of the tea products because they felt that it wasn't accurately portraying weight loss. And when I say they, I mean the Australian Medical Association. They came in and they were like, this is not ideal. You're basically telling people if they drink this tea, they're gonna lose weight, but you don't have any science or research or anything to back it up. And in the US, you don't need that, because the FDA, or the Food Drug Administration, does not regulate supplements. So your protein powders, your BCAAs, your fat burners, none of those things are regulated by the FDA. You can literally put anything on a shelf and labeled as a supplement, and it doesn't have to go through the same rigorous criteria that like your birth control or your ibuprofen does, because it's not considered a drug. So if you take any supplement and you look at the back, it'll say, these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, and that's because they haven't. Now, the FDA has its own problems, and that's not to say that the FDA, if they've ever looked at it, it means that product's fine. What I'm saying is that there's no regulation behind these tea products. So there's no one going through and saying, wow, we had a lot of people get horrible diarrhea from this product, we should pull it. There's really no regulatory body there that's trying to shut these things down or even investigate them before they go out to the public. So just keep all of these thoughts in mind before you start diving into these tea products. And I can understand how it's really easy to fall into this trap. You follow someone on Instagram, YouTube, whatever. They're skinny, they're cute, they have a great life, they're drinking their skinny, they're fit, they're whatever teas. They're talking about how it makes their bloat go away. And it's easy to fall into this trap. But why spend $40, $50 on this tea when you can buy crap with the exact same ingredients off the shelf at your local grocery store and not pay that much money? And now at least you know what the products are doing and kind of the side effects to them. It's a multi-million-dollar industry, and it's just like everything else in the fitness industry or any sort of industry that's trying to sell you something. It's not going to be a quick, easy fix. I hope this video clears up some things for you guys. If you have any other questions at all, just leave them below in the comments. Otherwise, I'm trying to put videos out once a week, and they're going to be a mix between things like this, where I do some myth busting and kind of explaining the scientific reason behind some stuff, especially from a fitness perspective, and then also the occasional workout. So leave any comments of other things that you want me to talk about, and I'll try and get to them. Have a great weekend.